Betrayal doesn't kill you. It doesn't break you. It does something far more dangerous. It teaches you. Teaches you to stop trusting, to stop feeling, to stop needing people. And slowly, without realizing it, you start becoming someone you once would have feared. Success didn't change him. The world changed him first. Success just made it permanent. Before the money, before the silence, there was a different version of him. Warm, genuinely warm. He answered calls at 2 a.m., gave his last without thinking twice. Loved deeply, quietly, in a way nobody appreciated. He walked into the world with an open heart, completely unprepared for what the world actually was. He worked harder than everyone around him, but the world kept reminding him of his place. Bills that never ended, rooms where he spoke and nobody turned their head, dreams that people laughed at to his face. And he noticed something that slowly hardened him. Nobody listens to a broke man. Nobody shows up for someone who hasn't proven himself yet. He smiled through it, stayed positive, told himself it would change. But underneath that smile, something quiet was beginning to shift. Then came the moments that changed everything. Not one, several, stacked on top of each other like weight added slowly until a man finally breaks. The friend he trusted with his deepest fears used those fears against him. The woman he opened up to completely left when life stopped being comfortable. The people he sacrificed for didn't even call. His phone got quieter. His room got darker. And one night, staring at the ceiling, he had a thought that never left. What if I was never special to any of them? What if I was just useful? The man who once saw the best in everyone slowly stopped seeing people the same way at all. Nobody noticed the change at first. He was still polite, still smiled in the right moments. But something behind his eyes had gone quiet. He stopped sharing things, stopped reaching out first, stopped asking for help. People called it maturity, called it growth. What they didn't realize was they weren't watching him grow, they were watching him disappear. And in the empty space where his heart used to be, he planted obsession, and it worked. That's what makes this story complicated. It actually worked. Obsession became discipline. Discipline became results. Results became money. Money became power. The same people who ignored him now asked for his advice. The same city that made him feel invisible now said his name in rooms he wasn't in. Luxury apartments, business meetings in rooms he once dreamed about. Numbers in his account that would have made his younger self weep. Everything he wanted, everything he suffered for, finally real. But the man standing inside that success didn't feel what he thought he would feel. He thought success would heal him. He genuinely believed that. He told himself for years, once I make it, once I have the money, once the world finally respects me, the pain will stop. But it didn't stop. It didn't heal. It just went quiet, and then slowly, everything else went quiet with it. Music that once made him pull over his car just to sit and feel something became background noise. Songs that used to hit differently at 2 a.m. now just played. Conversations that once excited him started feeling rehearsed, like everyone around him was reading from a script, like nothing anyone said was ever fully real. He went on dates with beautiful people and sat across from them thinking about nothing. He celebrated his biggest wins and felt emptier than the nights he had nothing. He stood in rooms full of people who admired him and felt more invisible than he ever did when he was broke and unknown. And without making a single conscious decision, he became exactly what the world had spent years training him to become: cold, calculating, unreachable. He stopped returning calls that felt emotional. He walked away from conversations that asked too much of him. He looked at people who needed him, people who reminded him of who he once was, and felt nothing. No guilt, no pull, nothing. And the terrifying part was that it felt like strength. Deep down, he had convinced himself that this was what surviving looked like. that this was what winning cost. That the men who built empires were the men who learned to feel nothing. So he wore his coldness like armor, and nobody could touch him. But some nights, the silence got too loud to ignore. Some nights when the meetings were over, and the phone stopped buzzing, and the city outside his window went still. He would stand there, floor-to-ceiling glass, city lights bleeding across the skyline like something beautiful that belonged to someone else. And he would feel something he had no name for anymore. Not sadness exactly. Sadness at least means you still care about something. This was different. This was absence. The feeling of standing in a house where someone used to live, where the furniture is still there, the pictures still on the walls, but the warmth, the life, completely gone. That was what his chest felt like most nights. Furnished, expensive, empty. Millions sitting in accounts he barely looked at anymore. Watches on his wrist that cost more than his parents made in a year. A life that looked extraordinary from the outside and felt like nothing from the inside. No one to call. Not really. Not someone who knew him before. Not someone who remembered the version of him that used to care too much. Not someone who loved him when he had absolutely nothing to offer. Everyone in his life now came because of what he had. And some nights that thought sat on his chest like something heavy. Because he understood something now that nobody warns you about. You can reach the top of everything you ever wanted and still feel like you lost. He had spent years becoming the kind of man the world respects. By slowly, quietly, completely destroying the kind of man the world could ever love. Then one night, his phone rang. Late, quiet, the city glowing below him. He looked at the screen. He almost didn't answer. He had trained himself not to. Calls after a certain hour meant someone needed something, and he had nothing left to give anyone, but something made him stop. He looked at the name one more time. His mother. He picked up. He didn't say much at first, just listened, and within seconds, he heard something he had not felt in so long. He almost didn't recognize it. No agenda behind her voice. No transaction. No performance. No one trying to get something from him. Just warmth. Real quiet, unconditional warmth. The kind that existed before the money. Before the success. Before any of it, she asked how he was doing. Not his business. Not his plans. Not what he was building next. Just him. How are you doing? 4 words. And something inside his chest that he had kept locked for years cracked open. Everything came flooding back at once. The nights he cried alone and told no one. The betrayals he buried under work and ambition. The moment he made the silent decision to stop feeling, the version of himself he had slowly suffocated to become this. He sat down on the floor of that penthouse, all that money above the city, and he cried. Not the quiet, composed kind. The kind that starts in your stomach. The kind that shakes your whole body. The kind you can't control and can't explain. The kind that means somewhere underneath everything he built, part of him was still alive. Pain didn't destroy him. Betrayal didn't destroy him. Losing everything didn't destroy him. The most dangerous thing that happened to him was the day he decided that feeling was the enemy. That vulnerability was weakness. That needing people was a flaw. That the only way to survive this world was to become someone the world couldn't reach. He won by those rules, completely. But the man standing in that penthouse was barely recognizable to the boy who started. And I want you to understand something. You can build walls so high that nothing will ever hurt you again, but nothing beautiful will ever reach you either. You can become so emotionally untouchable that no one can ever betray you, but no one will ever truly know you either. The goal was never to become cold enough to survive. The goal was always to become strong enough to stay soft, to be hurt and still choose to trust carefully, to be betrayed and still love selectively, to lose people and still remain someone worth knowing. That is the harder path. Most people won't take it, but it is the only path that leads somewhere worth going. He earned everything he built, every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every moment of pain that pushed him forward. He earned all of it, but the morning after that phone call, he made a different kind of decision. Not to go back to being naive, not to forget what people had shown him, not to pretend the world was something it wasn't, but to stop letting his wounds become the thing that defined him, to stop wearing his coldness like it was an achievement. To remember that the strongest thing a man can do in a world that rewards hardness is choose to remain human, because success means nothing if the person who achieves it can no longer feel it. You survive the pain. Don't let it become your personality.